Vincent, what I love about your roles is that we always get to meet your family on shows, like which showcases more, wait, actually, family.
Your family, I just go.
Family. But yeah, we get to see more Filipino and Asian talent, What were the conversations when the writers told you we're gonna see Henry's family? What conversations did you guys have about that?
Well, our showrunner, creator, and head writer Gloria Calderon Kellett led us, and along with her associate Andy Roth, and who spearheaded, our whole writers' room team, who really created these characters on the page, and it truly is on the page, and that was the departure point for me, you know, all the way from like when I first auditioned, which was with that bisexual explanation scene from season one, episode one, which was already refreshing and groundbreaking for me as Vinny, let alone for Henry in this fake world that is actually really rooted in the current reality. And so it's been pretty gratifying, and man, it hits my heart in such a positive way to be able to represent uh, the Filipino culture, the LGBTQ community, and to be a part of a show that celebrates diversity, multiple generations of love. We don't just focus on young love. It's also old love and middle-aged love, marital love, youthful new love, queer love, uh, and sibling love, parental child love. Like we focus so much on that unconditional love that exists between people regardless of their differences. And so it's been very rewarding to get to represent the communities that I belong to as a person in real life, and have them depicted on screen, which is something that Gloria was very passionate about in accurately depicting. And that kind of yearning for authenticity is something I think our audiences want, and it's what Gloria knew was inherent in this story when she created it, and when she brought us on as actors. Um, it was a blessing because she really collaborated with us and allowed us to contribute our personal real life experiences to these characters. And so, what the audience, you guys get to see, is a true is a true culmination of that collaboration, and that kind of authentic, fun, and artist 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 playmaking. What collaboration is what I'm trying to say. But it was just so much fun to do.
Yeah.
And like I think that kind of energy that we had making it really shines through the writing and the show that we made for you guys.
No, it really did, and the series is so idealistic with relationships, especially for, I say, LGBTQ because I'm part of it, so I can say the community, and especially with what's going on, we rarely see fairy tale happy endings for the community, and it's a win for the bisexual community for sure.
Heck
But
yeah.
yeah, but there's also intersectionality with that Henry and Jorge being in a people of color relationship. We often see couples paired with a white partner as a safety net for general audiences. If you see all the other previous shows, it's always a white partner
Mhm.
for every straight, queer, like every relationship. But in this one, we see two queer people of color, men, in love and actually get married. I think this is one of the first of like getting married to as well. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't want to spoil. I'm gonna delete that part. I haven't edited that out. But
Okay.
in love and was this something that you noticed? And what was it like for you playing this couple for the past two seasons?
I did notice that our love, Henry and Jorge's love, was unique and of a certain type of relationship we don't typically see depicted on television. Um, this is a cis male, ethnically diverse couple who is monogamous and who are very different kinds of people, but who also just at the at the end of the day bottom line, they love each other no matter what, unconditionally. And that is actually that is the family that Henry walked into when he met Jorge and the rest of his family. And also, as we discover in season two, what Jorge is walking into when he joins Henry's family. Don't want to spoil that one, but with every relationship, there are differences, there are challenges, there are grievances, there are, there's a discourse. But with our show and with, like, I think what makes it super relatable, anyone in a relationship, whether it's a friendship, romantic relationship, or familiar relationship, anyone can kind of empathize with the idea that, like, when you do have differences, like, it's about your love for that person at the end of the day, and you will stick your neck out for that person and do what you can to bring happiness to that person, and you will risk and you will step out of your comfort zone. And that's, I think, what we see Henry do in season two with Jorge. And you see it with Jorge as he discovers these uncovered stones, these unturned stones with Henry, which was really fun to play, by the way. Like, getting to dive into Henry's past and who his friends are and what kind of life he had before Jorge, and bringing that to the surface and having Jorge deal with it. That was really fun to play with and do. And I think is a testament to, like, any relationship where you're learning about each other and it feels a little rocky and scary. Like, are we compatible? Are we not compatible? But I think those questions come up for every relationship. But what our show really hones in and really, really focuses on is, when you do love someone, you come out stronger after after those talks, after those interactions. And so that is very apparent in our show. Like, these characters are having conversations that we don't usually see.
Mhm.
And there's even one between Soul and Dr. Miles Murphy, where they're talking about what it means to be in a queer relationship. And I don't think I've seen that before, you know? So it feels like we're breaking a lot of ground with love. And season two is just packed with so many juicy, sexy moments, as well as, the moments of pulling at the heartstrings, and the moments of, cheering Lily on as she celebrates a monumental birthday and shifts her focus from romantic relationships to, like, actually achieving her personal goals, her career goals, and seeing all the other characters, like, trying to find their way, but doing it in such a way that they all have each other's backs, and they're always surrounded by love, no matter how challenging the moment is. And I think that's refreshing and super impactful, especially for what we're all going through right now
Yeah,
in the world.
definitely. Thank you so much. I can't wait for everyone to watch the series and see more of the love, and also meet your family, your character's family. So I thought that was exciting, just
Yeah.
because we get to see more of us on there. So,
Oh yeah.
I was in disbelief regarding your character last season, whether or not his feelings, for her, and also if he's still an F boy, you know. And I was wondering how this season we see him be really a love interest, like a really serious. He's ready
Yep.
for love,
Yep.
with love. And
Mhm.
I was wondering, has he really gotten over his F boy ways?
You know what? I think it's not so much a sense of getting over per se. There are aspects of the sort of fuckboydness that I think the Venn diagram of a fuckboy and a himbo are like there's a little bit of overlap there, and I think there is a harmlessness to the type of masculinity that Nick portrayed in season one that should still be carried through. Like there's a hold space for women kind of thing going on with Nick, at least in season one. But it is funny that you mentioned that because this was sort of the discussion between me and Glow in season two was like, how do you have someone who was such a goofball find emotional depth and emotional maturity? What does that look like, and how do we keep that still entertaining? Because you can't just drop all the jokes. You know what I mean? You can't suddenly have him not joke at all and suddenly just brood and like smolder like that. That would have been whiplash, I think, for a lot of people. So it was sort of like, how do we ease him through this journey of getting him to that point potentially. And testament to Glow's writing, she did it, man. She ramped up that character development, I think, perfectly, and I think it hits peak in like around end episode 3, episode 4 gets really really good for him, and it was really really lovely to play.
Well, no, it's great because I watched the second season
Yeah,
already, and
right.
I like in the last season, the first last season, I was thinking, oh man, this guy like, but you could tell he has feelings and everything, and
Yeah, but he's
you
not
know,
ready for it. He's
yeah,
not. Yeah.
yeah, but at the end of like the season, he seems like, oh, yeah, this could work, yeah, and it
Mhm.
kind of confuses me regarding that. But I am looking forward to more stories from Nick. But how does this play out for I what I love about this character, the relationship is that we see shows they always partner the love interest with a white partner,
Mhm. Yep.
which is like a safety net for many shows for the general
Totally.
audience. And I
Yep.
was wondering how you felt about seeing this show where all the partners are really for other than a soul's partner, we all see the partners be people of color.
Speaking specifically as to like Nick and Rome and sorry, the Nick and Santiago and Lily triangle first. It's I love it that it's diverse. I think I and real. I think more than anything else, these are two real guys and a real woman, like trying to figure out their own messiness and trying to figure out their own hangups, having their own emotional journeys. One tiny tiny little part of me resents that we're heads up, you know what I mean, of like Asian guy and Afro Latino, um which but I think that that part of me is coming from like that starvation mentality. I think there should just be more shows like this where it's normal that like all 3 points of the triangle are people of color, you know what I mean. And aside from that, I think it's great that the Henry Jorge relationship is such a strong and such a just, they go through their troubles, but I describe them as sort of the foundational relationship of the series. And I love that the foundational relationship of the series is an LGBTQ plus relationship. Um, we very rarely get to see joy from that part of the community. So, I think everything that Glow does is she's so cognizant of what haven't we been allowed to be before. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, my favorite thing about Nick is that he's so masculine and he follows those kind of rules of Asian men, but his best friend is
Mm.
Jorge. So I love seeing this
Yeah.
dynamic of this I'm gonna say it, fuckbo or himbo,
Yeah.
being best friends with this part of the LGBTQ community, like Jorge, gay
Mm.
man. And I just love that relationship. What conversations did you have about how they would interact? Especially Nick is kind of like the himbo masculine man,
Yeah. I think it's
Asian
I
man.
think it's funny. It wasn't so much discussions that we had with each other as much as just our general chemistry and like who I am and who Mark is as a person. We're comfortable. We're very comfortable around each other, and I think there is a straight cis man who is difficult for people of that community to be friends with. There's just something inherently unsafe about the space that they create around them. I think a big part of Nick's energy, and I like to hope that it's a big part of my energy because like we did this without thinking, is you get the moment you see how Nick is and how Jorge is with him, you're gonna get how it works. And I love that we've built out the history a little more in season two. Like there are some more moments of like, hey, here's their history together. But I think on a very intuitive level in terms of how we interact and how we sort of float around each other, there is a sense of like, this is how non-toxic male relationships can be, without there being any words exchanged about it at all between me and Mark.
Yeah. Well, I love that, and
Yeah.
I can't wait for everyone to see it. And I'm rooting. Obviously, I'm Team Nick, and because Sammy and my friends, and like all you, my friends. So I just want to congratulations on season 2. I can't wait to see Nick's family next season.
Thank
So
you.
I'll talk to you soon.
Boys, professional artists and professors. Maybe a nerd who's just like you, talking about the things that you like too. So I invite you to the NOC. In full color, you see me. The hard knock life.